CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with winter's first blast of the season. Highways have been shut down tonight with much more snow expected. However, how much will depend on where you live. And Julie Atchison will have more on that later in the newscast. With more on the snow that has fallen so far, here's Sean Irvin.
The changing of the season, the serene landscape, the crisp, cool air, and the return of the snow brush. I might need a new brush, I think.
And on this day, I was not the only one. But in true southwestern Ontario fashion, it really depended on where you were. While the 400 series highways through London remain mostly clear on Monday, you only had to look west to see winter chaos. Highway 402 saw multiple vehicles off the road as a heavy snow squall pounded the region. Police are urging caution and driver awareness.
Slow down. Be prepared to adjust your driving.
And that includes being ready before you start your car.
Scrape off your side windows, scrape off your mirrors, and scrape off your headlights, and keep your headlights on.
We found plenty of examples of people caught off guard. Police say vehicles not properly cleaned off are a hazard to their operators and others on the road.
Somebody will be getting stopped as long as we have the time and it's safe to do so. But yeah, just don't put yourself in that situation. It's not worth it.
Preparing for storms is another key part of winter safety. At this tire shop, Sunday's snowfall translated into a flurry of requests for winter tire installations. In most cases, bookings are now 3 days out.
We are running full tilt. we're all hands on deck.
Largely because most of us wait until the last minute.
I'm going to say there's probably about 30 to 40% that are early, and the rest of them, honestly, they wait till the snow.
Do you run snows?
Yeah, we switch our own though, so yeah. All good. We don't have to wait in the lineups.
A pair of surveys over the past 2 years found 70 to 80% of Ontarians put winter tires on their vehicles.
Now, do you switch to winter tires?
No, because I don't drive that much just in the city. My wife's got a van. She got snows on hers. So.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Canada has been stripped of its measles elimination status. For nearly 30 years, our country has been considered free of the highly contagious viral infection. But in the last year, it's come back with a vengeance. As Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports, the primary reason, declining vaccinations.
Measles is one of the world's most contagious diseases, but low vaccination rates leading to a year of outbreaks across the country have lost Canada its measles-free status.
Everything's pointing in the right direction. Unfortunately, we couldn't stop the outbreak completely in time to lose our elimination status. But the direction of travel is that we will get it back.
Canada received its measles elimination status in 1998 after decades of rallying to stop its circulation. But now the virus has come roaring back. From 1998 to 2024, an average of just 91 cases were reported annually. So far this year, 4,800 cases have been confirmed, with another 362 considered probable.
It's because of some localized areas that have been under-immunized. And it's a shame because it's not a reflection of overall Canadian experience.
Measles infects the respiratory tract and then spread throughout the body, with a rash and high fever the most common symptoms. While most recover, it can cause deafness and, in rare cases, death.
The second the rash starts, it's like anybody would know. Literally from head to toe, under their feet, in between their toes, everything.
Michelle Sear's daughter was hospitalized with the measles last month. Sear has no idea where she caught it.
Make sure you do your vaccinations. That's my biggest concern, because if I was a little late with hers, and I think that if I would have got it on time, then maybe she wouldn't have got it.
The Public Health Agency of Canada says transmission is slowing, but that it will take time to finish this outbreak. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, according to Southwestern Public Health, which is comprised of Oxford County, Elgin County, and St. Thomas, that jurisdiction saw more than twice as many infections as the next closest Ontario Health Unit, which was here on Perth. The top doctor at the Middlesex London Health Unit says there's a high vaccination rate within that jurisdiction. They've been working with neighboring health units trying to improve the region's overall vaccination rate.
We have to be persistently vigilant to make sure that we are building relationships with community leaders, that we're building relationships with parents, that we're providing a trusted source of information to remind folks that this is a safe and effective vaccine. And measles is not a disease to be played with. It is dangerous.
Local health leaders are also warning about the upcoming cold and flu season, which they say could hit harder than usual. With more on those expectations and how to protect yourself, here's Rita Ismail.
London Health Sciences Centre is rapidly preparing for what they say could be one of the worst flu seasons in the past decade.
Try to use the data from Australia and Southeast Asia to predict what kind of flu season we're going to have. And unfortunately, they've had their worst flu season on record in the last 5 or 10 years. And we're anticipating that this will be quite a harsh flu season.
Dr. Lim says there are a few factors behind the data, including a decrease in immunization and the latest strain of the flu.
Luckily, they've opened up many immunizations within Ontario for both flu, COVID, and for high-risk populations, RSV. And the other factor is that the flu will naturally mutate over time, and they're monitoring very carefully, but there seems to be a major mutation this time.
Dr. Lim says LHSC is well positioned to support the region, but adds now is the best time to get vaccinated to protect both individuals and the healthcare system from being overloaded.
You know, it's cold outside now. As we congregate into close settings, we know viruses spread very easily. So, you know, if you have a child or you yourself are sick, try to stay away from others, try to prevent that illness from easily spreading to others.
Those most at risk include young children, seniors, pregnant women, and immunocompromised individuals. Anyone aged 6 months or older is eligible for the flu vaccine, and health officials are also reminding Canadians of several other simple precautions, such as washing hands, staying home when sick, and wearing a mask in crowded spaces. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
London City councillors are raising concerns ahead of a change in Blue Box collection, which would affect more than 500 businesses, nonprofits, and places of worship.
With the economic realities, is it not more likely that the recyclables are going to end up in the landfill?
Starting January 1st, Blue Box collection will become the responsibility of the companies that produce recyclable waste. Residential collection will not change, but 535 non-residential locations were recently declared ineligible. Councillors say the provincial government has not explained why the two sources of recycling can't be collected on the same routes. Collecting from small businesses and nonprofits would require hiring a contractor.
It will be substantially more expensive. The reason we're able to do it now at the cost that we do it now is we're currently collecting next door. But because we cannot put the blue bin waste from these businesses and nonprofits and places of worship in the same truck or through the same processing system, it will be an entirely separate system.
City councillors also lamented a $1.3 million project meant to develop computer software, which staff admit they will never use.
The amount of time and money that's gone into this, not ending up with a final product.
A council committee had asked staff about new guardrails to ensure the housing collaborative initiatives and mistakes are never repeated. 8 municipalities spent more than a decade developing software to track social housing waitlists, which was never used in London.
The complexity of those 6 or 7 municipalities over the time, that really has added to, that is the key component that has challenged this project. At various points, there were decisions made by the group that may not have been in the best interest of London.
London police say they're investigating a shooting in the city's northeast. According to police, someone fired shots at a townhouse on Huron Street early this morning. They say they found evidence of multiple shots fired and the property was likely targeted. According to police, there were people inside at the time, but no one was injured. A life sentence was handed down today against the woman at the center of a murder case involving a body found in a barrel. With more from the London courthouse, here's Nick Paparella.
41-year-old Ashley Bourget did not address the court at her sentencing hearing. In May, she was convicted of first-degree murder in connection with the disturbing and horrific killing of 59-year-old Grant Norton. The victim and the accused were both area drug dealers. In July of 2020, Bourget lured Norton to her place on Adelaide Street with the help of others to rob him of a large amount of cash. Once there, Norton was tied up, beaten, and stabbed to death. His body would eventually be found stuffed in a white plastic barrel by the Thames River, not far from the Adelaide Street apartment. Justice Martha Cook sentenced her to life in prison, and she won't be eligible for parole until serving at least 25 years, saying Mr. Norton was restrained, robbed, savagely beaten, and stabbed. She continued, Ms. Bourget may not have been the only person involved in Mr. Norton's unlawful confinement and violent death, but she actively participated in the killing. Before Bourget was escorted from the courtroom, the judge told her whether you earn parole in 25 years or ever will depend on what you do starting today. Bourget was one of 5 convicted in connection with the brutal killing. 33-year-old Wesley Peters, who pled guilty to manslaughter last month, is the final one to be sentenced in this case. His next court date is scheduled for February. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Sarnia's mayor is rejecting calls to cancel a political hopeful's appearance at a city arena tomorrow night. Brian Bicknell has more on the anti-Semitism allegations behind those calls.
And I'm running to be the leader of the NDP.
Activist turned political hopeful Yves Engler says he's being wrongly accused of being a racist because of his views on Israel's war in Gaza.
The people opposing apartheid or have been flipped upside down to be the racists, when in fact it's, of course, those who have been promoting apartheid and genocide that are the racists.
Engler wants to be leader of the federal NDP. He's booked to speak at Sarnia's Clearwater Arena Tuesday night. But the Canadian Anti-Semitism Education Foundation has written to Sarnia Council calling Engler a notorious anti-Semite, saying the city of Sarnia has no business renting out space to platform his hatred of Jews. President Michael Tieper adding, if you let it proceed, it will get very awkward.
Mr. Engler has a long-standing track record of not just anti-Israel agitation, but anti-Semitic remarks. He's very fond of using the term genocidal Jewish supremacist. I think that he's unfit to be hosted by a public institution such as the city of Sarnia.
Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley says he can't prevent someone from renting space.
We're not in the censorship business of who speaks. In this person's case, he seems like a fringe candidate for the NDP leadership. So far, I have not seen anything that would indicate that there would be a way to ban that person from renting a public hall for a public gathering.
Engler is also scheduled to appear in London on Wednesday night, but in this case is at this private venue on Piccadilly Street as opposed to a public building, and he's being hosted by the activist group People for Peace. Neither event is sanctioned by the NDP, and according to a London party official, Engler has no formal association with the NDP.
Within NDP spaces, he has declared himself an NDP candidate. He's put out literature declaring himself an NDP candidate. But as far as the party recognizes, he has no official standing at this time.
Engler tells CTV News he has filed papers with the NDP to be vetted for candidacy, his first step in his bid to join the race. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Grey County municipal officials have rejected a proposed bylaw which would restrict new gravel pits. A local residents group had pushed for a bylaw which would pause the approval process for large gravel pits near Durham. West Grey Council denied that request. Gravel industry officials have said the province needs 4 billion tons of aggregate over the next 20 years, but advocates say those needs can be met with existing pits.
We're not saying we're against gravel extraction. We're just saying that it needs to be done in a responsible way, making sure that we're managing it as a non-renewable resource that it is, and not just issuing licenses left and right.
The bylaw's advocates say it's now up to Grey County municipal officials to review the county's entire aggregate policies, which they claim might not happen until 2027. Students from nearly a dozen local elementary schools took part in a remembrance ceremony this past weekend, laying handmade wreaths at Vimy Ridge Memorial Park. With more on the annual tradition, here's Lauren Stallone.
11 handcrafted wreaths thoughtfully placed, a timeless symbol of sacrifice and remembrance.
It makes me proud.
really proud.
Students from 11 elementary schools across the city coming together for the annual Remembrance Day service at Vimy Ridge Memorial Park.
We involve the children in not only decorating their own wreaths in the classroom as they're learning about Remembrance Day, but then let them actively participate in laying the wreaths themselves, escorted by cadets.
Organizers say it is a chance for students to learn the importance of honoring those who served our country, with veterans and Legion representatives all in attendance.
I think it's really important that we keep that experience alive, that we remember the sacrifices that Canadians have made for several generations in protecting freedom and democracy.
I wanted to remember all the soldiers that fought in war, and to remember the people that fought for life.
Each arrangement wrapped in green fabric and decorated with poppies. A personal touch from the students who created them.
I think that sort of collaboration and in-classroom learning before a ceremony really brings it all together for them.
As the service comes to a close, hundreds of poppies are left behind, a symbolic act connecting young learners with the veterans they honor. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
And tomorrow we will be live streaming Remembrance Day ceremonies from the Cenotaph in Victoria Park, and you can watch on our website ctvnewslondon.ca starting at 10:40 a.m. Later on CTV News, an unplanned reunion for two former pen pals. Their happenstance encounter more than 3 decades later. Strength in the technology and base metal sectors helped Canada's main stock index today. The TSX up more than 400 points. In New York, the Dow added 382, the Nasdaq up 523. The Canadian dollar rose almost a quarter cent today. On commodity markets, gold was way up, more than $110 an ounce. Oil added 38 cents a barrel. A major step toward ending a 6-week U.S. government standoff today. Several Democrats broke party ranks, voting with Republicans, an attempt at bringing a chaotic chapter in Washington to a close. However, as Joy Malbon reports, it's not a done deal yet.
It was more than a bumpy weekend for flying passengers, a staggering number of delays and thousands of flights canceled.
It was madness, craziness, everybody was pissed. It was not a pleasant experience at all.
Airlines drastically cutting flights for safety reasons during the shutdown as air traffic controllers and TSA agents forced to work without pay or calling in sick.
We've been here for 3 days because of planes.
President Donald Trump threatening controllers who don't show up, saying get back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked.
As we get closer to Thanksgiving travel, listen, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have air travel slow to a trickle.
From airport disruptions and food benefits to millions of Americans cut off, the hardship on Americans doing real harm. And that led to a Sunday night compromise to end the shutdown stalemate.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
8 Democrats voted with Republicans enough to end the shutdown with the promise of a future vote on a Democratic demand, an extension of expiring Obamacare health care subsidies, but no guarantee that Republicans will support it.
What we have in this bill is the restoration of all the furloughed employees and a guarantee of their back pay. That's a big win for 2 million federal employees.
Leaving some Democrats bitterly divided.
We're not going to support partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people.
Republicans are cheering the end of the shutdown, but this deal, if approved, will only reopen the government until the end of January. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Washington.
Good evening. Winter preview in southern Ontario after some weekend snow. Today, the lake effect snow machine kicking in with flurries and snow squalls overnight. In London, there is the potential for about 10 to 15 centimeters to fall through the overnight and first thing in the morning if the snow squall locks in with blowing snow. Remembrance Day will be cold. Heading out the door first thing in the morning, -1 with some gusty winds that'll lead to blowing snow. Get your winter gear out as you head out the door tomorrow. Nancy, if you're taking Nico for a walk, it'll be cold with the wind chill, feeling close to -10. I'll have your local weather details coming up right after this.
Welcome back. Julie's on the desk with me now. And after, maybe call it a tease yesterday of the snowfall, because we're in for more snowfall tonight in our region.
Yeah, flurries and snow squalls have been moving through. The snow band that's just been west of London is just slowly starting to oscillate towards the city. We've had watches and warnings in effect through the day today. Arkona, Watford, Bothwell, Wyoming, Forest, Port Franks. I can go on and on. Areas west of the city picking up some heavier amounts of snow and a snow streamer that was downwind of Lake Huron. It was just -1 this afternoon. -5 the overnight low, well below normal for this time of year. We should be at +8. Satellite radar is spinning over the Great Lakes, and you can see, yes, we still have these squalls that are slowly edging towards the city. Overnight, how much snow are we going to get? Of course, that's the big question. If the snow squall locks in, we'll pick up about 15 centimeters of snowfall. So that's a significant amount. It will likely cause bus delays in the area, but the snow squall has to lock in. If it even shifts a little bit, those snowfall amounts change quite drastically. So you know how it works. We see this wind set up downwind of Lake Huron. And once one of these snow squalls developed through the day today, the one west of London, so it was in eastern Lambton County, western Middlesex County, and it just sat over this area through the better part of the day. So that's why London picked up the sunshine today. Now that squall will just slowly start to shift over the area tonight, and then by tomorrow towards Oxford County. So St. Thomas area, you'll be into flurries as well, especially if that squall locks in over the area. Temperatures dipping between -3 and -4 overnight. We'll even have a wind chill. So cold air has moved over the Great Lakes, and this cold air has some reach all the way down towards parts of the southern U.S. and around Atlanta, even dipping down towards Florida. So the cold air invading, and you can see the snow that's moving across the Great Lakes. It's lake effect snow, and that continues as we head into tomorrow morning. Flurries and blowing snow first thing in the morning. It'll be Remembrance Day. I know many people heading out to the local cenotaphs. So if you are planning to do that, be prepared to dress very warmly. The winds will be quite gusty. Now, it's been breezy out there tonight. It will continue to be gusty as we head into tomorrow morning. Now, at Remembrance Day time, the temperature at about the freezing mark, and the snow squalls will be winding down right across the area, with the exception some areas just off to the east will see a little bit of action, but the intense squalls will be winding down around 11. Now, eastern Middlesex County and Oxford County, this is at 10 a.m. You can still see some snow squall action. So keeping a close eye on that and those snowfall amount numbers coming up. This is the forecast model, and this is what it's reading. And you can see this is the snow squall. So west of that now, so Chatham, Sarnia towards Windsor, nothing. And then east of that line, nothing. In between, that's the snow band. So anywhere from 8 to 15 centimeters of snow expected. It'll be cold through the day tomorrow, icy wind chill in the morning, and the forecast high coming in at +1. The good news is it doesn't last too long. So the temperature rebounds back up to 6 degrees on Wednesday with a chance of showers. The snow will be history by about Thursday, a 40% chance of showers and 6. Friday, lots of sunshine and 8 degrees. Cloudy on Saturday and back up to double digits for Sunday with a 40% chance of showers Sunday into Monday. Midwestern Ontario, flurries and squalls first thing in the morning, and then cloudy with sunny breaks in the afternoon. It'll be a cold one for sure. And then Wednesday, a 60% chance of showers, 6 degrees with some rain in the forecast on Thursday. Lots of sunshine on Friday. That'll be our best day over the next 7. And a rebound heading into the weekend with daytime highs between 7 and 10 degrees. Please leave yourself lots of extra time heading out tomorrow morning. Please clean off your car. And again, go easy out there. Take it slow. Snow flurries and snow squalls expected overnight into the morning.
Julie, thanks very much. Hundreds of winter jackets were handed out this weekend at the Boys and Girls Club of London. The Coats for Kids campaign has supported Londoners and many newcomers for more than 35 years. Community partners collect warm clothing as well as cash donations with a goal of distributing 1,000 jackets, boots, gloves, and hats.
One child left and he refused to take anything off. He wanted to wear everything out, so it was very cute.
It is our first winter. They told me that it's possible to have some coats for my child, so I came specially for him.
Website, all appointment time slots for picking up coats were full this year. Finally tonight, an unexpected reunion. As Brent Lail reports, it started with two people talking at a London restaurant before realizing they'd actually been pen pals more than 30 years earlier.
It's an improbable reunion.
We realized that we were pen pals 35 years ago.
Flashback to 1990 when the Royal Canadian Navy participated in the Persian Gulf War.
In New Victoria, Cape Breton, there was an ad in the Post to write to any service member overseas just for your support. So I had done that. You must possess an awful lot of courage, faithfulness, and honesty to your country.
Halfway around the world, Petty Officer Richard Austin was patrolling the sea aboard the HMCS Athabascan.
In my way back to my watch station on the ship, I would just stop by sick bay, and the box was there, and I grab letters and take them back, and then when I got down to where I was going, then I would read who it was from. I think the pink envelope caught my eye.
Austin would then write back.
Thank you so much for your thoughtful letter. I was dealing with a weapon system, and I was all alone for like 12 hours a day, so I had to have something to occupy my mind.
Fast forward 3 decades later. Lisa Johnson has moved from the East Coast to London, Ontario, and works as a server.
I served these two gentlemen, Rick and Mike. We got to chatting, and I said I wrote to a Navy personnel back in 1990. I have the letter here. So when I produced the photo of the letter, Rick said to me, "Lisa, that's my writing." And just goosebumps, like, there's no way.
And when she showed it to me, I recognized my writing and my unique computer graphics that I did to write to a lot of people. Yeah, it was just, oh wow.
The two see each other every weekend when Richard comes in for breakfast.
And you need those moments in your life, especially today, to have a bright ray of sunshine shine in. And so it's just like, yeah, there is good in the world.
Brent Lail, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.